Hey YouTube, this is Peter with Stuff Addict. Today I'm going to take a look at my Nobis Yatesy Winter Parka. This is a heavily insulated winter jacket that also happens to have a Sympatex membrane, so it's mostly waterproof. It's a $1,000 retail jacket that competes with brands like Canada Goose and Montclair. It is a lifestyle jacket, it's not a technical shell, so it's mostly for just walking around the city or just hanging out by the lodge or whatever, something like that. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what this jacket is first, and then I'm going to go into the features of the jacket and then give you my thoughts about it. So this jacket is a lifestyle jacket. It's not, as I mentioned earlier in the introduction, meant for like athleticism or, outdoor activities like hiking, like something like Arc'teryx or North Face or Patagonia, whatever it's for. It's just meant for walking around the city, doing things like that. So it's a heavy down parka. It's a full-length parka, so expected to go almost close to your knees. This is a size large, and it's in the black colorway. The hood comes with a real coyote fur liner, so if you're not into, having animal products being in your jacket, definitely you don't want that. It is insulated with white duck down. I don't know what the fill power is. I don't think Nobis lists it on their website, but I don't think it's the highest power fill level, so not like 850 or something like that. But there's a lot of down in here. So the jacket is about 5 pounds. It is a heavy, thick jacket. The primary fabric material that's used on the outside is called Sympatex, which is like Gore-Tex. So it's a 3-layer laminated membrane where there's an outer layer and then a middle layer that's waterproof and breathable, and then a layer underneath that. And there's also a DWR coating on the outside of the jacket to help water bead up. So the jacket is mostly waterproof and better than water resistant. There's also a double zipped liner zipper in the middle of the jacket, so you can zip it up and you can zip it out from the bottom too. So if you needed to sit on something while the jacket's mostly zipped up, you can do that by doing this, and it'll free up your legs so the jacket can split apart. Now on the inside of the jacket, it is lined with like a poly, so it's not like Sherpa lined or anything like that. I prefer this kind of liner because it's easier to slip in and slip out of because it's slippery. There's not a lot of friction, so that's good for me. The sleeves are also lined in that same material, so if you don't like the poly type of liner, I wouldn't get this either. Along the back, there's not much more. It's just black. It's pretty plain, and it's the same Sympatex material throughout. Since this is a heavy down jacket, there's not a lot of venting, but it does have pit vents like you see here, so you can get some extra breathability. Of course, if you open the vents, it's no longer waterproof. So here's a quick look of how the jacket looks on me. This is a size large jacket. I'm 5'9", I weigh 185 pounds. I have a more athletic build. I have a 44 inch chest. So it fits pretty good on me in this size. So I would say it's kind of a true to fit size. Now, since the jacket is so bulky and it has a lot of, insulation from the down, even if you go medium, if I were to put on a medium instead of a large, on the exterior, I wouldn't look much different in the smaller size because the jacket on the exterior is just so big anyways. Now that's with it open, and I'll show you with it closed. Most of the way closed, so this is probably the most normal way someone will wear this jacket. Not all the way up, not fully zipped, but partially zipped. And then fully zipped. That. It's a little bit big. Whoa. And then with the hood on, it's very, it's kind of like being trapped inside a sleeping bag. That's probably the most equivalent, being trapped inside a sleeping bag. So something people don't mention about jackets like this that are water resistant or even waterproof in this case is that for the soft shell kind of jackets, they usually put a coating of DWR, which is a water resistant chemical, on the outside of the jacket. that causes water to bead up and run off the article of clothing. It's usually silicone based. Some of them are not. But a lot of the people on YouTube, they do tests on the jacket when it has DWR on it. And that doesn't always stay forever. It's temporary and you have to recoat the jacket. So I'm going to show you what the water looks like when DWR is applied. I just reapplied some myself. Here's the one I used. This is not the best one at all, but it's the one you can easily find in stores. It's called Kiwi Camp Dry, and we'll see how the water beads up on the jacket with the DWR and because of the DWR. You can see that the water kind of forms these little beads, and these easily run off the jacket and won't soak through that top layer of Sympatex fabric that they use for this coat. Now, if this DWR wasn't here, what would actually happen is that it might have a little bit of beading because of the material type, but what would happen much quicker than if it doesn't have the DWR is that it'll soak through the top membrane of the 3-membrane Sympatex material, and then that outside layer of the jacket will become soaked. So on the front of the jacket, you have 2 hand warmer pockets here. They're buttoned down. You stick your hands in your pockets like that. And then you have 2 big cargo pockets. These are both flapped. A lot of room in there. And then on the side of the cargo pockets, you have, I don't know what you want to call this. It's just a side pocket. You can also put your hands in it. I wouldn't do that though, because your hand will scrape against the zipper if you don't have a glove on or something, and it's uncomfortable for sure. I've tried to do it before. Not a fan. Now, something important to note about the pockets and just the compartments on the outside of the jacket, none of them are waterproof at all. These are all flaps. They have no zipper seal, and the zippered pockets, like on the side, are not seam sealed. Like something you would find on a more technical jacket, like something from Arc'teryx, where you'll see like a rubber gasket on the outside of the zipper to keep water ingress from reaching the zipper itself. Because most zippers, unless they're very special ones, do not block out water. So even this main zipper here, I wouldn't say is waterproof. It's only waterproof somewhat because this flap goes over it, and the flap itself will keep the water out of the zipper. A really interesting feature of this jacket that you don't find in Canada Goose or Montclair or any of the other, high-end streetwear jacket brands is that there's these magnetic clasps inside the jacket. So there's magnets on this side and magnets on the flap. So when you want to close it, you don't have to use buttons. It'll just pop into place like that. And you can kind of hear it pop. A couple cool features on the arm of the jacket are, one, a tightening strap. So you can use this to tighten the wrist up so you don't have any air ingress into the jacket itself. So if it's really cold and windy, you don't get that wind chill up your arm. And then another thing, it has like a monkey paw. So if you don't have actual gloves, what you can do is you can slip your thumb through this hole that they have here, and you can use the cuff of the sleeve kind of like a half glove. In regards to storage on the inside of the jacket, you have a big, truly waterproof pocket here. So if you really need to store something that could get wet, like your wallet that has a bunch of ID cards in it, I would put it in here, or your cell phone perhaps. And then on each side of the jacket, there's also these side pockets, which are also big cargo pockets, kind of like on the outside. And then that's replicated on the other side of the jacket too. There is not a second waterproof pocket on the right side of the jacket, only on the left side. So on the Nobis jacket, the hood is not removable itself, but the fur from the hood is removable, and it connects to the hood using the zipper over here. And it's a single-sided zipper, as you can see, and this is the end of it. Now, I like that the fur is removable because when you use it in the rain, you don't really want to get this fur wet because it smells and it's weird. But the problem is this zipper is a very fine zipper. It's not a very chunky zipper like the main zipper of the jacket itself that I showed you earlier. And when you try to unzip it, what happens is that the fur always gets caught in the zipper, and it makes it extremely difficult to take off and extremely annoying to put on also. So keep that in mind. I wish they used snaps or some other type of mechanism besides a zipper to put on the fur to the hood. It makes it a real inconvenience to take off and put on over and over again. So the obvious question is, how warm is this jacket? That's its primary purpose, to keep you warm in the cold while you're chilling out. So I just spent a day in Leavenworth, Washington, which is like this touristy Bavarian-themed village town on the eastern side of the Cascades in Washington State, where it's mostly Christmas themed. And throughout the day, it was about 32 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 degrees C, so basically freezing. I spent the day wearing something like this, a long sleeve t-shirt and just the jacket itself. Throughout the day, I felt pretty warm. I kept the jacket 3/4 zip, so I didn't, have the hood over my head, and I didn't have this zip all the way up like that. And the core of my body and my arms were fine for the most part. My face was getting a little bit cold, but since I wasn't wearing the whole hood and all that stuff like Eskimo, that I can't really say that was the jacket's fault. Now, can you do better than this for $1,000 functionally for warmth purposes? Definitely. So if you really want to stay warm, you're not going to wear like a thin, t-shirt like I was with just this jacket over it, like just a 2-layer deal. You would get, like a hard shell for the outer layer, then like a base layer, and then like a mid layer that's like insulated, like some thin down from Arc'teryx, whatever. And that would work a lot better functionally just to stay warm, but it wouldn't be as simple as just wearing this over a t-shirt like I am. It's also, those are not, fashionable things. This is obviously a fashion jacket because of the price tag and how it looks. And I got really good compliments from the meetup group I went with to Leavenworth about the jacket. They never seen it before. They didn't even recognize the brand, but they obviously equivalated it to something like Canada Goose. They were like, is that a Canada Goose jacket? It looks really nice. So as a fashion jacket and as a jacket to keep you warm, it does really well. If that is worth $1,000 to you, or $700 on sale, that's up to you to decide. I don't know. But you can do better functionally. I don't know if you can do better fashion-wise, but if you need the fashion and the warmth, this covers it for sure.